Title: At the country club for our 20th anniversary, the valet pulled me aside and said, "Your wife crushed something into your wine while you were parked." I returned to our table and proposed a toast to our future. It was supposed to be a celebration, 20 years of marriage, marked by fine wine and a candlelit table at the country club. That's what the invitation said. That's what the smiles suggested. But when the valet leaned in, eyes sharp with hesitation, the illusion cracked. "Sir, while you were parked, your wife crushed something into your wine." My pulse slowed, not quickened. I had imagined this moment, just not here, not so bluntly delivered. I nodded, gave him a tip, and walked back inside as if nothing had changed. She sat there, radiant in a silk dress, laughing too loudly at the couple beside us. Her hand circled her own glass, waiting. She didn't know that the stage had already shifted. I raised mine high and proposed a toast. My words were smooth, tender, convincing, and I made damn sure she drank from the glass she had prepared for me. 8 minutes later, she collapsed. The club's medical staff swarmed. The truth had been waiting all along. We were never supposed to end like this. 20 years, 2 decades carved out of sacrifices, shared dreams, and lies I was too blind to question. I thought loyalty was her second skin. I thought devotion was the thread binding us. But loyalty is fragile. I saw it peel months ago, in whispers she didn't think I heard. A late-night call in the kitchen, cut short when I walked in. A text notification she scrambled to hide. The perfume on her blouse that wasn't hers. Suspicion is a slow poison, but evidence is clarity. I hired no detectives. I trusted only myself. I followed her once, staying back in shadows. She wasn't meeting friends. She was meeting him. His hand lingered too long on her back. Her laughter was intimate, practiced. It was betrayal distilled to its cruelest form. The first betrayal was her affair. The second, her ambition. Divorce papers hidden in her desk drawer, unsigned. Life insurance documents left carelessly in the safe. Poison purchased online, traced through receipts she never thought I'd see. She wanted freedom and she wanted fortune, but she wanted me gone first. Planning became my companion. Quiet, patient planning. I secured copies of every paper, moved assets into silent accounts, rewrote my will with precision, leaving her nothing but questions. And most importantly, I learned her methods. I found the crushed tablets in her handbag, labeled with nothing familiar. Rat poison, disguised. Enough to silence me without spectacle. She must have thought herself clever, but cleverness without foresight is suicide. I waited. I let her believe she held the knife, and tonight I let her hand guide it back into her own chest. The club sparkled with laughter and chandeliers. I played the dutiful husband, holding her chair, brushing her hand, smiling at the right cues. She thought she was leading me to slaughter, but every step was choreography I had designed. When she slipped the powder into my glass, she didn't know the valet had seen. She didn't know I had asked staff to keep an eye on her. She didn't know the cameras would capture her hand hovering too long, pressing too carefully. I walked back, lifted my glass, and smiled. "To us," I said. "To 20 more years, may they be even better than the last." She drank deeply, her eyes locked on mine, expecting me to falter. The bitterness touched her tongue, but she masked it well. She thought it was mine. Minutes passed. I held my breath steady, never wavering. Then came the change. A hand to her throat, a cough she couldn't swallow. The laughter at the table died. She staggered, reaching for me, for help, for mercy. I gave her none. The medical staff rushed in, prying her lips open, forcing air into her lungs. Guests whispered, some screamed. But I sat still, glass untouched, watching the unraveling of a woman who thought she could erase me. When the truth surfaced, powder residue in her bag, security footage confirming her hand, the life insurance documents in her desk, there was no more room for doubt. She hadn't just betrayed me, she had plotted my murder. And instead, she wrote her own ending. People ask if I felt sorrow, if watching her body convulse, if hearing her desperate gasps tore me apart. No. What tore me apart was years ago, when love turned into calculation behind her eyes, when every kiss masked contempt. What tore me apart was the moment I realized she wasn't my partner. She was my executioner. Tonight was not cruelty, it was justice. As they carried her away, pale and unconscious, I finished the toast. I raised my glass again, though no one heard me. To truth, I whispered. To seeing it before it's too late. The table was empty by then, the celebration gone. But I felt a weight lift, heavier than grief, lighter than joy. I left the country club alone, the valet still staring after me. I pressed a bill into his hand, larger this time. You saved a life tonight, I told him. And perhaps, in some twisted way, he had. I don't wear a ring anymore. I don't look at photos of anniversaries past. But I do keep one thing, her crushed tablets sealed in a small glass vial. Not as a trophy, not as a reminder of her failure, but as proof. Proof that betrayal always leaves fingerprints. Proof that patience, silence, and calculation will always win against deceit. She thought she had written the perfect ending. She never realized I was the editor of her story all along.